Welcome to Product as a Star. I am your host, Will Cunningham. And on this show, we talk to folks interested in getting the word out about a product, good, service, message, or even a call to action. Today's discussion will feature a conversation with Corey Ledet. Welcome to the show, Corey. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Hey, man, I'm blessed and highly favored. I really can't complain. First things first, where are you based out of?
I'm based out of a small town called Parks, Louisiana. That's where my family comes from. My father's side of the family, and it's a real small, rural country town, and it's full of sugar cane all over the road and everything. Quiet place, a very musical place, a historical place. So that's where I'm at.
Wow. Okay. So just so that we know, about how far away are you from like the big city, Louisiana, or excuse me, New Orleans?
New Orleans, about 2 hours. Let's see which direction that would be. 2 hours east.
Okay. Okay. 2 hours east. So you said it's a very musical place. How did you get your start just in music? Not necessarily the entertainment yet. We'll get to that. But how did you just pick up an instrument and things of that nature?
Well, my dad had my grandfather's drum set. My grandfather was a musician. My great grandfather was a musician, but I found my grandfather's drum set in the garage when I was a kid. So my dad
Wow.
set it up for me. I just kind of started banging around on it a little bit, and then started kind of picking up different beats and everything. So then my dad got me a real drum set. Well, not a real drum set, but my grandfather's drum set was just old, right? So he didn't want me to,
Hmm.
mess it up or anything like that. So he got me my own drum set. It
Right.
kind of
Right.
started from there, and then moved over to the accordion, which the accordion is an instrument that the Creoles of Louisiana, that's what we play. It's one of the many instruments that we play, and got me a toy accordion. I started picking up some notes with that, and then got me a real accordion, and it just kind of just grew from there.
Just kind of grew from there. You said two things there that really interest me. Once was one. The first thing you said was about banging on the drums and just sort of you found this instrument, you started banging on the drums. That brought the imagery in my mind of maybe like an inner drummer and all of us as we're little babies sitting in the high chair and we're just banging on the top of the thing, and it's a cause and effect type of thing where after a while we figure out it's us making the actual noise. And a lot of times parents go, "Hey, you cut out all that racket," but which when you really look in, you really realize that the child is banging on something and they're excited because they're causing the noise. So then insert a drum set, right? Now that's a more focused, component of that, right? And then boom, that's okay. Now he's really getting good on the drums. We better swap that out and get him something. uh, he's serious about it, right? And then you see the same pattern happen with the accordion, and it's really cool, So you're picking up these instruments, it's in your blood, it runs in your family. What a cool experience. So outside of your family, what type of music do you listen to?
Everything. I listen to everything. I mean, if it's music, I listen to it. Doesn't matter what it is. That I think it's a blessing and a curse because it's hard for me to find a type of style of music that I don't like. I just enjoy all
Mm.
music. I mean, you name it, I like it.
No, that's the thing, right? When um, music without borders, music without genres. It's weird how we attempt to isolate music and put them in these separate silos. However, the artist is wanting to pull, the creator is wanting to pull from as many different places as possible. So do you also write your own lyrics
Yeah,
also?
I write my own songs. I have a bunch of originals, but I love covers. Like I said, I love music. You know what I mean? So, but I like to write my own originals, but I like to kind of mix it with other cover songs that just are great songs. I mean, I like it all. Like I say.
How did you find yourself getting your professional start in the entertainment industry?
Well, my first actual job in the music industry was I was playing drums with an older Zydeco Creole guy named Mr. Wilbert Thibodeau. He was based
Wow.
out of Houston, Texas. Which
Okay.
I was born in Houston, Texas, but my family,
Okay.
yeah, but my family is from Parks. My dad is from Parks. So matter of fact, a lot of Louisiana moved away from Louisiana to like Houston and the bigger cities looking for work because Louisiana just at that time didn't have many jobs. So there's a big Louisiana Creole community in Houston. There's a big Creole
Wow.
community in the Bay Area around Oakland and California. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all. But
Hmm.
get back to your question. So
Mom.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. 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 Go ahead. Go ahead. I was getting your ad libs like the Migos. I was
All right. Okay.
getting ad
Well,
That's all.
I got a job. I got a job playing drums with Mr. Wilbert Thibodeau when I was about maybe 12 or 13, and stayed with him till about 16 or 17 years old. And that's kind of how I got into the business side of it. And then after I graduated from high school in Houston, I moved back home to Parks, Louisiana, and that was around the fall of 2002. And I started the band for for a living in January 2003. So next month would be 19 years that I started the band as a business in Louisiana.
Wow. 19 years, man. Just out there doing it. You got the magic going. You know your location is set. This is your passion. It runs in the family. How did in it now it's been 19 years. Could you tell us how you've been able to like keep that magic going? How have you been able to sustain that
Um,
love?
it's definitely a passion. You know what I mean? I didn't just do it
Hmm.
for you know just to say I'm doing it. I mean, it's definitely music is definitely a passion for me. It's what I live for. It's what keeps me healthy. It's what keeps me sane. It's what keeps me keeps me centered. So that I think that's part
Hmm.
of what has helped me to keep going these 19 years. Like I tell a lot of people, you have to love what you're doing in order to continue to doing it. Because if you don't truly love it, you're not gonna keep to it. Because there when the sun is out one day, you're gonna have rainy days. So you got to take the good with the bad. There's good and bad with everything that you do in life. And like I say, with music being my passion, I take the good with the bad. The bad days, it just comes with the package. Just like recent years with the pandemic coming, and
Hmm.
shutting everything down. Shutting all the festivals down,
Hmm.
all the gatherings down, and everything. A lot of people have kind of thrown in the towel, and we still trying to hang on. Hanging on.
Yeah, I mean, hanging on like a hubcap in the fast lane, to be real specific, as E40 once said. But yeah, no, that's a real thing. The pandemic had come around, and all of a sudden, I almost said magicians, touring musicians found
They got.
themselves up against it. But it's interesting that a lot of us had to reinvent ourselves and figure out what we were going to do as the industry was doing what they do and shutting down. And what a pivotal time in the music culture. And I'm hoping that a lot of positive new music will come as out of that. There was a lot of quality time spent in front of the internet and getting familiar with genres that maybe we wouldn't have if we would have had the humdrum of the 9 to 5. So in other words, we did see the attention span somewhat extend during COVID, and we see that with podcasts going out of the roof.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching. Yeah, so we witnessed the attention span, the attention span expand, if you will. So that's something at least that we could pull from that positivity. Speaking of which, how do you feel currently about creating music in the streaming environment? I ask this because on your Bandcamp, which is Corey Ledet's Zydeco at bandcamp.com, please go check them out. I noticed that you got the vintage tape, and it looks so nice, man. You're paying ode to that. So here we are. So here we are in the streaming area. How do you feel about creating music in this environment?
I've done it. You know, creating stuff like that. I like it. Like you say, it's something different. It's something new. Um, as far as that goes. But I'm kind of old school. Like as far as I really enjoy, you know, going out and because a lot of times I create music on the spot. You know, if I'm
Okay.
performing in front of a live audience and they're into it, the band is into it, and the energy is high and it's going
Mhm.
around. A lot of times things just pop off right there. Like a lot of, I'd say probably about 80%, about 80% of my original songs were created on the spot in front of a live audience. Nobody knows it, but you know
Mm.
that's how I create a lot of my stuff.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you're freestyling up there is what you're
yeah.
doing. And now, how is somebody recording that so that you can take it back to the studio and then remaster it, or do you have full command? You can remember what you said and what you did.
It's both. Sometimes we might be playing somewhere and it's being recorded.
Mm.
I can go back and listen to it, but a lot of times I just remember it.
Wow, because whenever I'm freestyling rapping, I got the beat on and I got some people around me. One of my favorite lines that I go to is I couldn't recite this to save my life, just to let people know that I'm freestyling. So it's great that you have that impeccable recall where you could take some of it back. And another thing, when you take it back to the studio, you might could even add a little something and then rework the whole formula and come out with some Frankenstein-ish new funk type of. Oh man, that gets me excited right there. Just the creative in me, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And like I say, for me, I'm kind of old school like that. I've done a few shows virtually, and I think that's cool to do that, you know, and it really helped a lot of musicians out when we couldn't go anywhere and you know we couldn't do shows. I think that's cool, you know, to do stuff like that. But I'm really kind of old school in the aspect of I require that energy, you know, the
yeah,
energy, the
yeah,
vibe of the people because that's when I'm on. I mean, if the energy is up there, I'm on point. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
versus that versus playing to your phone or playing to your computer, you're like, I'm playing to myself. You know, even though you
That's
got a lot
right.
of people watching, but it's like I can't see, I can't see everybody.
Right, right. You can't see everybody, and another level of creativity may kick in because now you got to almost superimpose them. And however, when you're on the stage anyway, you can't really see everybody's face, depending on the venue. Now, if you're at a daytime place at like like a daytime club or something like that, yeah, it's a little bit more intimate. Outdoor, you might be able to see something, but still, you're focused on again that energy. And that's an understated thing in music, the energy transference. I often say if you go to a live concert, you might not even be into the band, but after you see them perform live, that energy transference, you go, oh, I'm going to get that. Okay,
Exactly, exactly.
okay, they moved. Yeah, yeah. So that's very fascinating to me as a creative to hear another creative, sort of have a similar point of interest, and to be able to build on that. And it begs the question to me, how many instruments do you play? Now we know we're up to the drums and we're up to the accordion. Is there
Um,
anything else?
I play keyboards. I play bass guitar, a little bit of rhythm guitar, and a little bit of fiddle, like the violin and washboard.
Oh, washboard. That's not that instrument is native to Louisiana in the South. We don't,
Right,
you know,
right.
California. You don't see the
No,
yeah. Oh,
yeah. So the washboard actually, the original washboard was a washboard. I mean that's how people would wash their clothes around here. You know, it was made out of wood, but they had like the ridges, and you rub your clothes in a bucket of soap and water, and that's how you do it. So we started making metal washboards and turn it into instruments. So
they kind of look like big cheese graters for people who don't know at home. Kind of puts you in the mind of a big cheese grater with and then you got to really, my family is from the South, so, and I have Creole. My mother's part Creole, so yeah, you're striking a chord with some of these
cool.
some of these sentiments that you're expressing. So that's also pretty cool. So how do you, when you're in your process of creativity and you got the keyboard, you got all these different things that you can express yourself on, how do you find yourself going to the place to find the music and the melodies, or do they come to you?
A lot of times they come to something really simple as either a
Mm,
drum beat or a special chord or an arrangement. Doesn't take much. All I need is like a little bit, and I can build around that and create. Like the other day, I came up with an idea for a song, and it was just a simple melody in my head. So I recorded that on the
mhm.
phone, and I'm gonna probably mess with that probably tomorrow and create a whole song out of that.
Wow. So in other words, you made your own little mini reference track, pretty much, to build upon. Okay, I got this melody in my head. Let me pull up a note, a voice memo. Listen to audience, pay attention, capture that creativity when it's there. You pull out a voice memo, and you might not even have the words yet. It might just be do 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 do, and it caught you that way, and then you're gonna go work that later. Do I have that much? I have that correct?
That is it. Just like that. Just that simple do 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 do. That can be whatever you want it to be, you know. And a lot of
Right.
times stuff hits me in my dream, like around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I have to get up and like grab my phone and kind of hum it into my phone, and then come back to it
Oh
after I, and got up. Prince was like that too.
man.
He would get a lot of ideas in the middle of the night, and he would jump up and go straight to his home studio and start putting stuff down.
Man, okay, now you brought this up. You triggered me. Okay, so I had a dream one time, and I'm a rapper, MC. I love to. I could write any type of music. I've dabbled in all of them, but my home and my joy is on that microphone spitting rhymes. And you always want to say the flyest stuff on the mic. You always want to make it stand out. And speaking of being in a restful state of meditation, the dream state, man, I had this rhyme in my dream state that it was going to shut down the industry. Listen, when I tell you it was going to shut down the industry, they was going to be on me after this one. And as soon as I woke up to remember it, it dissolved, man. That's the best. I'm like, I was trying to remember a word, a cadence, and I knew it was that fire. I'm like, this was that. I let it get away. So, man, yeah, that was my little memory of being awakened by raps. There's been a couple times where I've woken out of a restful state of meditation to jot down a line or something, or a concept of a song, but nothing like I have to get out and start. Oh man, that's another level for me. I hope I can reach that level one day. Um, now, so now I've heard that you somehow got nominated for a Grammy. Could you tell our audience what led up to that and when that happened?
Yeah, that happened. I think a few weeks ago when the nominees came out. My latest recording.
Wait. This just happened?
Well, they just
This
announced
just
it. Yeah,
happened?
they just announced the nominees. I think it might have been maybe last month. It's something like that. Yeah. But I submitted
Okay.
my latest album that I put out earlier this year in January, which is it's called
Hmm.
Corey Ledet Zydeco, and it's out on Nouveau Electric Records. And we submitted that,
Okay.
and they they announced the nominees, like I say, about maybe a month or so ago, something like that. And so
Man.
we're in the final round for voting right now. So it's really exciting. And this is my second time being nominated. My first time was in 2012. That was back
Wow.
for the first time. So this is the second time around. So yeah, that's kind of how all that led up. And our music falls under the regional roots category.
Regional roots category. Okay.
Right? Like best regional roots album, because Zydeco is like it's a rootsy form of music. It's like it falls like under folk because it's
Okay.
a cultural cultural style of music from Louisiana.
Okay. So when you say folk, for those of us that are green, what comes to my mind is "Oh Brother, We're Out There." That, or is that bluegrass? That movie, "Oh Brother, We're Out There." Do you remember that with
Yeah,
George Clooney? And it was, was that more bluegrass or was that folk?
that I think that was probably like more bluegrass,
It
but
was more.
yeah, but Zydeco, like I said, it's a Creole, it's a Black Creole style of music from Southwest Louisiana, because the Black Creoles in Louisiana, they had worked so hard during the week. I mean, they literally would work from sun up to sundown, and right under the sun all year long, no matter what the elements was outside, and they worked so hard. So on the
Mm-hmm.
weekend, they would, if somebody knew how to play the accordion or whatever, they would get what they was called house dances, because they didn't have any clubs back then, like in the early 1900s. So they would give dances to houses, and they would pull all the furniture out the room, and uh,
Right.
somebody would come play accordion, and then it was just the accordion player at that time. It was an accordion player, maybe a fiddle player. So I mean, it is a roots music, but the Zydeco, like what I play,
Mm-hmm.
Creole music, is the music of the Black Creole speaking people of Louisiana, and they would come on the weekends, and they'd have what they call a feu dodo. It's like a dance, and they would dance all night long, all weekend long. The harder they worked, the harder they partied on the weekend. That's how it went.
Right, right. And you can hear seeds of that in our music and the rap music today. Work hard, play hard, work. We got little chants like
Yeah,
that. Little,
exactly.
little. Yeah. So yeah, we're familiar with that. And it's nice to know that we could put somewhat of an origin story on that to love. It sound like we was the ones that invented the real house parties. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah,
what it sounded like,
exactly.
because the idea of moving furniture out the way to get these dance moves. Once upon a time, I remember having to move the coffee table so my uncles and aunties could do the electric slide, and they did. They couldn't. You had to move out the way or get down. You had to if you wasn't doing the electric slide, you was gonna get ran over by it. So yeah,
Exactly.
that takes me back to that. So our now we got we are reopening slowly but surely from the pandemic. You're nominated for a Grammy for the second time, dating back. The first one was 2012. Did you go? Did
Yeah,
you
yeah. I
go
went.
to the awards? Well,
Yeah, yeah. I went, and talk
were you
about.
able to attend?
Yeah, I went, and I really really enjoyed it. It was the first time I ever experienced anything like that, and I saw all the stars and the celebrities walking around, and I mean it was cool. I mean really cool, and I'm planning on going again this coming year, which I think the Grammys is on uh is it the I think the 31st or 30th of January. It's
In
on a Monday.
January. January.
Yeah, January, yeah. So
Yeah, I think
I'm
I'll be in the
planning on.
building as well. I think I'll. Yeah, if yeah, hopefully we'll get to connect, man, because I'm supposed to be in the building too. So maybe we can connect and get a more in depth. What I'm saying, person to person, because this is fascinating. I know that my
Yep,
audience is going to get a lot of value out of sitting down talking to somebody who's been there, done that, sustained himself. Now you got these family jewels that you're able to share with with our audience. It's very valuable, and that's what we aim to do at Product as a Star. We want people to get a value add. We want them to be able to look at that and say, okay, I'm breaking out. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna repeat that and put my own twist to it. So we really, really enjoy you sharing your wisdom from firsthand experience. More importantly, it does beg the question. We are opening up pretty soon. Are you excited about getting back there on the road? Is there some shows starting to pop up, or not there yet?
yeah, I have some bookings coming up for next year.
That's good.
But yeah, I need to perform. I need to perform. I
Yeah.
need to have that lifestyle back. I need to have that, like I need oxygen in my body. I just,
Mm,
you
mm,
know, I need that.
that, yeah, that's that oxygen. He said, that's a level of love that you have for it. You would liken it to a breath of fresh air, especially after being down, in a pandemic for so long. So, how do you keep track of everything? How do you keep track of all this?
Um,
You know,
It's
like
not.
I got to do this, I got to be here, I got to do that.
It's not easy. But I mean, like I say, for me, I guess I was just meant to do this kind of work. You know, I've
Hmm.
tried several different jobs. It just wasn't, successful. But as far as being a musician, I mean, hey, there's nothing I can't do. As far as music and the industry. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely hard to keep up with everything, but I just love it so much. I just love it so much to where, you know, I just go with the flow. Like Bruce Lee say, be like water. I just be like water.
Hey, be like water. I like that. So again, a lot of this is educational. A lot of this is entertainment for our audience. And I do want you to share something like maybe a setback or even I might even say a failure that kind of puts you on your seat and you said, man, I gotta rearrange something. I gotta go back to that because as artists and musicians, we face a lot of unpredictable hurdles, and how we respond to them is what really gives our music character and our personalities character. So could you?
Yeah, I've got a few that I feel like that were kind of setbacks, but I mean, I learned a lot on this journey. I learned a lot. One lesson for
Mm,
sure, that I don't mind sharing is, you know, being in a band and being around musicians and just uh people all the time. I mean, everybody has, like you said, everybody has their own personality and everything, but
mhm.
you have to be careful with, the company you hang around, because sometimes the company you hang around could definitely bring you down. You know,
Mm,
for example, I'm just gonna just set an example. Let's say I'm playing somewhere out of town, in California, New York, or somewhere, and I have
mm.
group of guys that are with me, but they tend to uh, follow trouble wherever they go. Well, what happens is if they get in trouble, it's my name that goes through the mud, because they're not going to remember so and so in the band. They're just going to say so and so was with Corey Ledet, and Corey Ledet is no longer going to be welcome over here. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I've had several, issues like that before. So you really have to be careful with your company.
I don't want to talk about that a little bit because this is something that we need to be able to put on our utility belt when these moments come up, right? So we need to figure out as artists, as aspiring creatives, we do understand that we're going to have the light on us when we go on that stage, and there's a lot of access, there's a lot of benefits that come with that, and there's a lot of people that anyhow. So yeah, so when it's like that, what we need to do is have some tactics that where we can detect what's going on early, and then have the wherewithal to remove ourselves or have a spin move ready for these situations. Because when it's on you, it's a different situation. When you might be in LA, New York, the Bay Area somewhere, and there's a lot of access, and there's stage, and there's performers, and then there's some unsavory characters, I'll say, and then they want to come hype you up and be down with you. Hey, can I get +2? Can I get a +3? Let's do this. And you can't do a spur of the moment security check on these people to verify if they're legit or not.
Hmm.
We need to come up with some tactics to spin out of that. And one of my putting back here, what I look like, you gonna put me at odds. That's just a spin move propaganda tactic to get out of, you know what I'm saying, early preventative measures to miss the drama. So I'm glad that you highlighted the fact that you got to be on point before you get on that stage and when you get off of that stage, as well as being on that stage.
Definitely. I mean, you're on all the time. You know what I'm saying? As
Hmm.
far, I mean, my opinion, being an artist, or in my case, a musician, you know, you really don't have any downtime because you have to be on all the time. You know, you got to be on as far as uh, creating different songs. You have to be on with the company you're around. I mean, you just have to be on. So, and again, I love it so much. Hey, I take the good with the bad.
That's right. And I think it's good that way. I think it's good that a full-time career in music requires you to be fully dedicated. Here's why. I think it's important because there's a lot of people, a lot of folks, it happens. They see the glitz, the glam, the shine, and they want that. But they don't have that pursuing it. But the obstacle course is called dedication. And if you're not dedicated, you will be weaved out.
Oh yeah,
And so I'm glad that it's like that. And there's nepotism, sure, there's weird stuff that happens, but it's not sustainable. Uh, so moving right along again, this is a great conversation. I'm loving it. I'm taking a lot from it. I am curious. I like to ask everybody this question who's on this program. How do you see yourself as an artist?
well, I like to see myself as somebody to where I can make somebody feel good when they hear my music, or when
Hmm.
they come to one of my shows. It's just such a great experience to where they have to tell everybody, hey, I went to see Corey Ledet last night, and the music was awesome. The band was tight, and the vibes. I always go back to vibes. The vibes were so great. I want people to feel the love and feel the happiness, because I think that's what's lacking in a lot of music today. Of course, I'm not trying to down anything, but I think I believe that music definitely can affect you either way.
Hmm.
If music leans more towards darker sounding stuff, and just kind of dark on the dark side, it puts you in a dark mode. To
That's right.
whereas when you listen to something kind of happy or uplifting, you're going to be happy and uplifted. For example, I was going to the store yesterday, and
Hmm.
this guy was at a red light, and a guy had his window down. He was listening to Frosty the Snowman. So that's a perfect example. I mean, what do
Yeah,
people listen to at this time of year? Christmas music. Why? Because
right.
it's feel good music. It's a feel good time of year. We're supposed to
It
be
really
feeling.
is.
That's how I look at myself as an artist, and that's how I would like people to feel when they hear my music and hear my name.
Well, that's great that you said that because you answered my other question. How do people view you? And I think that's true. I think that your sound is very warm and inviting. I'm gonna get into some more of it after we finish this interview because I'm such a fan of the visual components. When I seen the band camp, I was like, wow, okay, he's speaking to something outside of the music. He's speaking to an aesthetic, but that aesthetic brings you to a feeling, right? And that feeling is still around today. We've seen it with the resurgence of vinyl over the course of the last 5 years, and even live instrumentation, coming, being in such demand, and a lot of kids are picking up instruments. Both my children play instruments, so it's like, wow, this energy that we talked about earlier, it really never goes in there. You know what I mean? It's right there to be rediscovered. I discovered a group called Fatback. I never even heard of this group, and my family is a soul family. That I never even heard of the group Fatback before. Now I'm over here in love with Fatback, and I'm like, wow, man, I wonder what else is out there that I haven't discovered, and that exists beyond the title of old school or jazz or any title you could put. There's an experience beyond it of discovery, and so yeah, that's something that I really like to also put in this content to put it there for our audience.
Definitely. And
So
Zydeco is really it's meant to make you happy. It's meant to make you forget about whatever your troubles are. Zydeco was designed to make you forget, even just for a little while. If you're having troubles at home or whatever your problems are, you go to a good Zydeco, you forget about it. It's like they don't exist for the next at least 3 or 4 hours. And you know what? That's medicine to your soul.
Yeah, because that time gives you a little that little clearance gives you a chance to recalibrate your situation. Because so many times we be angry and mad, and we put on the music, and the music will strike that chord, and we go, "Okay, I ain't the only one going through that." And then you go, "Okay,
Exactly.
I feel a little bit better now that I'm not the only one going through that," and we can dance and uplift it, and they're celebrating and singing because they survived it. I will survive. I'm a survivor. You see what I'm saying? So that's a key aspect in this thing we call music, and the vibes are very, very, very important. So, have you read anything recently that's really inspired you, or listened to a piece of music or a television show that's really inspired you?
Um, yeah, I'm always listening to music. I mean, like right now, just like the guy at the red light. Right now, I'm into my Christmas music right now. Uh,
Yeah.
but recently I've been listening to a lot of classical, like symphony kind of music.
Hmm.
Um, it really it soothes me. You know, it relaxes me. I find, music like that. What else? Let's see. Hawaiian music. I love Hawaiian music. I mean, you put on some Hawaiian music, hey, that's it for me. I mean, I'm right there with it. Let's see what else. Reggae. I love reggae. Reggae music. I love that.
Yeah, reggae. Yeah. It was a very reggae summer for me. It was very reggae. Where
Yeah.
it was chilling, and yeah, the people on my team will tell you, Brandy, Ron, Puka, Gigi. Shout out to my team, by the way. Yeah, it was very Rasta summer. We put in a lot of research and development. Um, one of these last questions I'm gonna ask you. 'Cause I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I really am excited about you coming out here at the end of January for your new Grammy nom. That's really exciting. Um, if you could see yourself with the ideal future, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, talk about Corey Ledet, the ideal version of Corey Ledet, 10 years, 5 years from now, your perfect version of yourself.
The perfect version of myself has been the vision I've had since I was 12 years old, and
Hmm.
I'm 40 now, but the dream is still there. It hasn't changed. It's still in me. It's still lit like a flame of fire. You know what I'm saying? And that
Yeah.
vision is I want to create happy music, and I want to
Mm.
perform it for as many people as possible all over the world. I want people to feel good when they hear my music. I want people to want my music. I want people to want to feel good. I
Mm.
want I want to bring people together through my music. You know what I'm saying? And it's just all I see is goodness through my music, my sound, my style, my talent, and that's what I've wanted since I was 12 years old, and it has not changed and it has not left. If anything, it's gotten stronger every year, and that's where I see myself. I see myself on stage, performing for millions of people. I see myself just spreading my music all over.
Mm.
um, I don't care if I have to go on talk shows or one of my biggest dreams is to be a Zydeco band on Saturday Night Live. That's up there. So
Wow.
we'll see
Wow.
if we'll see if we can make that work.
That gave me a wild vision. Where can people find you again? Could you please tell people where to check for you? Because I know they're going to check for you.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of Facebook stuff right now. I'm getting my website
Okay.
done pretty soon, so you can just look me up on Facebook for now, which is just Corey Ledet Zydeco, CoreyLedetZydeco on Facebook, and at Corey Ledet at Instagram, and that you can find me.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you for coming on Product as a Star, hanging out with us. I'm really excited about your Bandcamp and the run that you're on. I appreciate your publicist. What a cool lady, man. And I just appreciate her bringing you here and you sharing this time with us. Corey Ledet, Zydeco. How do I say it again? Zydeco.
Zydeco. Yeah, a lot of people ask.
Zydeco.
So yeah, it's Zydeco. It's a French word, Zydeco.
Zydeco. Okay, we love that. I like that. I like how it. You know, I'm gonna try that out later. I'm gonna say Zydeco. You don't even know nothing about that. You should get
Yeah,
familiar. Acting like I
and
know.
actually, Zydeco is it's a snap bean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Zydeco it's a snap bean because Zydeco is snappy.
Snappy. Okay. I like that. Well, okay, that's what's up, man. I appreciate your time, man, and your energy and your music and everything that you're a product of your family, you're a product of your beautiful state and city, man. And we really thank you. And we see what the Grammy see.
Uh,
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Uh,
Appreciate it.
all right. Product as